welcome to another episode of Ask Captain Frank. This is the part of my YouTube channel where I take questions from my YouTube channel viewers, people from my Marine Surveyor website send me emails, or people just randomly call me up and ask me questions and try to get me to answer stuff for free. So today's topic is one that I received from an email from a guy that had read one of the articles that I wrote. And I write for a number of marine magazines, and I think this one was from BoatUS Magazine a while back. I think the article itself was an article on winterizing or laying up your marine diesel engine for the season. And the question he had was on the oil change. And the question he had was, when you winterize your engine, and he's talked to a lot of people on the docks. You always have a lot of experts on the dock, and everybody's got their, their own way they do things. And as nothing has blown up, typically, then they must be okay, right? So his question was, when you're changing the oil, I've heard two different theories on laying up the engine for the winter. One of them is you should change the engine oil, like you said, at the beginning, or when you lay up the boat at the beginning of the fall season, you lay up the boat and you change the oil at that time. But I've also heard people say, well, you should change the oil in the springtime. So he asked me, was there any particular reason why? I said that you should do it in the fall rather than in the winter, because he's heard people say different things and they go different ways, right? Again, so I'm going to kind of paraphrase from my article here that I wrote, because I can do that better and I can ad-lib it. And that way I'll make sure I don't miss something. So in the article itself, I stated, some advocate changing your oil during the spring commission. And so you start the season with fresh oil. But most mechanics and engine manufacturers recommend changing oil during the fall layup, so that the corrosive acids and carbon generated during combustion are not allowed to remain in the engine over the winter. And that's the reason that I also recommend when you do your fall layup on your engine, you should change the oil in the fall. And that way you don't have all this old oil and gunk sitting in your engine. Because sometimes, fall layup could be, 4 or 5 months between that and your spring commissioning. So I always advocate, change the oil when you're doing your decommissioning in the fall or winter, winterization process. Change the oil then, and not just for the engine, whatever other fluids you got to do, and change it then. And then you start out with fresh oil in the spring. And if somebody says, well, you got that oil that's been sitting in there for 3 or 4 months, it could do something or whatever. Well, then if that's the case and you're really worried about it, change it in the fall. And then the 4 or 5 months later, when you do your spring commissioning, change it then. I can guarantee you there has never been an engine that has suffered negatively by having too many engine oil changes. So, if you want to do the belt and suspenders, change it in the fall and then change it in the spring. But if you had to choose between one or the other, I would always recommend changing it in the fall so you don't have all that old oil and all the contaminants setting up in your engine throughout the winter. And what I will do is stay tuned for it. I'm going to make a video, and it'll be how to, spring commission it on your diesel engine, and I'll cover all this stuff in that. I'll make that pretty detailed video as well. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you've got a question, you need an answer to a burning desire to know something, or you just need an opinion, man, I got a million opinions and I don't mind giving them out. So if you have a question, just shoot me an email or text me, and I'll try to help you out. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, and you want to buy Captain Frank a cup of coffee, please click on the thanks button below this video. All tips received, not spent on coffee, will be used to improve my YouTube channel and create even more awesome videos.